DoD, Department of Defense Directive 5240.01 is based on intelligence activities, and this is going to be super alarming. It's very alarming to me. Essentially, what this directive does is it regulates the DoD's intelligence collection, retention, and distribution on surveillance. And this has been around since 1982, and it's largely been untouched since 1982, outside of a few changes dealing with like technologies and stuff like that. But 2 weeks ago, on September 27th, Catherine Hicks, who's the Deputy Secretary of Defense, she approved an executive order authorizing the DoD to amend this to allow the United States military, the Department of Defense, and its intelligence arms to collect, retain, and distribute intelligence information on U.S. surveillance. There's laws against this. There's laws called the Posse Comitatus laws. When I worked in special operations, we would do joint efforts with the FBI, the DEA, the Border Patrol, Customs. We do all these operations, and we would always get briefed by lawyers warning us of the Posse Comitatus laws. We couldn't even take a picture of a license plate. Couldn't report on a civilian because our citizens should be protected from our military. Our military does not exist to collect or to use force against civilians. Now, apparently, that has changed. Those laws have been overridden by this executive order, 5240.01, and it goes further than just collecting. It actually states that the United States military can be used to stand against civilians and use force to include lethal force against civilians. I know this sounds crazy. It may sound like fear-mongering to intimidate people to vote a certain way for the election, but unfortunately, this is real. Don't take my word for it. Look it up yourself. Read it yourself. Look up DoD Directive 5240.01, Section 3.3, Levels of Authority, subsection 2A, where this is all spelled out. And actually, this is something that already took effect. So this is in effect right now. It was in effect as of September 27th, 2024. By the way, Chief Justice Marshall of the Supreme Court said this: a law repugnant to the Constitution is void. And that includes legislation from Congress. It also includes an executive order from the President of the United States. A law that is repugnant to the Constitution is void. We're protected by our Constitution against stuff like this. But my question is this: why would an executive order, when President Biden is on his way out of office, why would our government give an executive order to change this DoD directive 1 month before presidential election? Remember, this thing hasn't been touched, largely in part, it's been attacked since 1982.
See this thing that the Biden administration pushed through, this new martial law thing?
Yeah.
This is very disturbing. Jamie, please Google this so we can find out what the actual law states, but it's DoD Directive 5240.01, giving the Pentagon power for the first time in history to use lethal force to kill Americans on U.S. soil who protest government policies.
What are they expecting?
5250.01, sounds right? Is that what it is? Right. Did I tell you what it is? I'm sorry. 5240.01, DoD Directive. This is from RFK Jr. Posted this on Twitter, and I'm finding out about it because people are blowing me up about it. That's fucking terrifying. That is a terrifying thing to push through for the first time in U.S. history, giving the military the ability to shoot and kill American citizens.
That's crazy, too. It's interesting because, you know, with the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act and stuff like that, it's almost like they kind of, in a weird way, just make illegal what they're already doing. Have you used
Is that the Smith Modernization Act?
The Smith-Mundt Modernization Act that Obama pushed through, which basically made it so it was legal for the U.S. government to use propaganda against its citizens, which they were already doing in different ways through CIA and all that stuff. So it sounds like we can legally do it. You can't sue us now.
How crazy is it that it's legal to lie?
How crazy is that?
For the government to not just legally lie, but they can concoct completely fabricated stories just to push a narrative if they decide that it's in the best interest of national security or whatever.